The story unfolds in Qingyan town. Walking side by side, Xiao Tian and Ziruoyan discuss Lu Yan's entanglement with the Black Soul Hall. A complex emotion flickers in the Empress's eyes, a mix of reproach, forgiveness, and resignation. The casual talk of food freezes instantly. Xiao Tian's gaze sharpens as dark blue lightning crackles behind him. Killing intent. He spins around, only to face a tear-streaked face shouting in shock. Wife? The god of death has arrived. Facing her mother, the one-eyed general radiating fury, Zhongling loses all composure. Terrified to her core, she wails in despair. It's over. How did my mother get here so fast? In front of her terrifying mother, Zhongling shrinks like a frightened bird, hiding behind Xiao Tian. Desperate, she clings to her only lifeline. Prince, save me. With her majesty here, my mother won't dare to strike. Suddenly, a muscular muscle Barbie interjects. It's Minister Zhong. Sweating nervously at the sight of this giant, Xiao Tian still shields Zhongling, forcing a calm smile. Beating your child in public causes trauma, you know. Desperate to protect his daughter, Minister Zhong risks it all. With tears in his eyes, he blocks his wife, shouting tragically, "Wife, hit me if you must, but not the prince." This melodramatic family scene leaves Zhongling shivering in the center of the storm. Seeing the chaos, Xiao Tian calmly waves off the tense guards. His unruffled demeanor instantly subdues the crowd, leaving bystanders and soldiers alike in awe of his charisma. Is this really just a soft rice prince? Chaos averted, Xiao Tian switches back to fanboy mode, mesmerized by his wife's beauty. But Zhan turns with a gentle, probing look. I am curious. What exactly did you do to earn such devotion from the people here? Hearing this, Xiao Tian rejoices internally. When a woman gets curious, she's falling for you. Seeing him grin like a fool, Ziruoyan is left with floating question marks, completely baffled by his sudden smugness. Back to the road construction. Facing the Empress's skepticism about his funds, Xiao Tian puffs out his chest, radiating golden light as he brags. I am the Prince of Great Yen. This cost for road repairs is mere pocket change to me. Ziruoyan remains puzzled. Does building roads warrant such loyalty? Just as Xiao Tian marvels at his own charm, a blonde girl bursts in, shouting, "It's because the prince gave us a good life." Her sudden outburst even startles Xiao Tian. It's brand marketing. Xiao Tian smugly explains how he leveraged the Empress's choice and Minister Zhong's backing to rebrand the cheap local wine into a priceless luxury. This business move single-handedly enriched the entire town. Xiao Tian sheepishly confesses he used her name because he's just a useless soft rice man. Yet, the flashback brutally contradicts him, showing him obliterating 3 mountains with one punch. Moved, Ziruoyan declares fiercely, "If anyone calls you useless, I'll cut them down." This sudden protection sends Xiao Tian's heart racing. She's flirting with me. He launches a barrage of sweet talk. Though Ziruoyan verbally rejects it, her blushing cheeks and subtle smile betray her fluttering heart. Minister Zhong worries about the Empress's rigid nature. Xiao Tian wags his finger, looking like a wise sage. You don't understand, that's called being tsundere. He sighs, realizing only he understands the charm of his complex wife. Before departing, Minister Zhong warmly invites the couple for dinner. Meanwhile, Xiao Tian closely monitors his wife's stats on his system interface. After the Northern Frontier trip, Ziruoyan's cultivation seems to have taken a massive leap. Seeing Saint Realm, first stage on the display, Xiao Tian smiles with overwhelming pride. To settle the frontier and breakthrough in one trip. Gazing at the majestic Empress, he sighs in admiration. My wife is truly the best. Night falls. As Xiao Tian steps inside, the scent of food greets him. His face lights up, assuming his wife cooked to welcome him home. But a heavy sigh from nearby suggests this meal might be more complicated than it seems. The door opens to reveal a grinning Minister Zhong. It turns out this feast was prepared by this good brother. Before Xiao Tian can react, Minister Zhong excitedly drags him to the table, his enthusiasm overwhelming. Rounds later, Minister Zhong has let loose, lying on the floor and calling Xiao Tian brother. Outside, the Empress and the Zhong ladies peek in awkwardly. Seeing the dignified minister so drunk, Xiao Tian sweats profusely, dying of secondhand embarrassment. Xiao Tian tries to play the perfect house husband, but the Empress's question cuts through the air. He panics, fearing his hidden talents will be exposed, ruining his dream of a lazy life. The banquet is lively, with praise flowing as freely as the wine. Ministers laud the Qingyan wine and credit the prince's foresight, showering him with unwanted admiration. Xiao Tian buries his face in his hands, desperate to disappear. He craves obscurity, but the ministers relentlessly list his heroic deeds, turning his desire for a low profile into a public torture. A critical hit. General Zhong's comment petrifies Xiao Tian. He screams internally. He just wants to be a useless trophy husband. So why is the whole world forcing him to admit he's a genius? Under the Empress's gaze, Xiao Tian confesses. He just wants to slack off. But in his mind, a nightmare unfolds. The Empress cracking a whip, forcing him to work, sending chills down his spine. Jealousy sparks at the table as someone mocks his luck. But Zeroyan is amazed by his brewing skills. Xiao Tian scratches his head, playing the fool to deflect the praise. Seeing Xiao Tian's pained expression, Zeroyan smiles gently. She softly promises that she won't force him into anything. She only wishes for him to be a happy, leisurely prince. She fiercely defends him, then melts into a sweet embrace. But the warmth is fleeting. She suddenly shifts tone, asking sharply about the assassin elder who died in Xinyang town. Meanwhile, shocking news shakes the group. Killed with a single punch? The flag of Dark Fire Cloud Sea rises. The legendary name, King Yama, makes everyone gasp in awe. Zeroyan's eyes light up, confirming the rumors. Friend or foe, this King Yama has eradicated the Blood Cloud Tower, a massive hidden threat, bringing unexpected relief to Great Yin. The heavy gloom lifts. Everyone believes this mysterious powerhouse will deter Great Yan's enemies. Even the tense political situation seems to show a glimmer of hope. But before Xiao Tian can relax, trouble strikes. Tradition demands he attend court tomorrow to greet the ministers. It's not just a ceremony. It's his first step into the vortex of power. Seeing Xiao Tian's worry, Zeroyan's gaze deepens. She admits this marriage wasn't just for a shield, but a way to make peace with herself amidst the cold reality of the throne. The atmosphere turns grave as the true shadow emerges. The root of all turmoil, the man wielding immense power, Prime Minister Liu Outyin. The name freezes the air. He was a trusted minister to the late emperor and Zeroyan's teacher. Xiao Tian rubs his chin, his laziness replaced by deep suspicion and vigilance. The tragic history of Great Yin unfolds. One brother dead in war, another poisoned. Beneath the throne lie the bones of kin, all pointing to the prime minister who promised to return power. To survive and reclaim the throne, she trained in secret. On her 18th birthday, facing forced marriage, she gambled everything on a summoning talisman, bringing Xiao Tian to this world. Looking into her determined eyes, something shifts in Xiao Tian. If she fights to protect her legacy, this lazy husband will not let his wife face the darkness alone. I'll go. Xiao Tian steps up. Though he verbally frets about Liu Outyin's power, acting timid, everyone knows this seemingly unreliable prince has chosen to stand in the eye of the storm. They place their faith in his unpredictable nature. Zeroyan, tears in her eyes, looks at him with a mix of worry and a newfound sense of reliance she has never felt before. Deep within the palace, schemes are brewing. A faction plots to use Xiao Tian's unexpected talents to counter Prime Minister Liu Outyin. Yet, beneath their confident strategy, beads of sweat on a woman's forehead betray a deep-seated anxiety about this dangerous gamble. I believe in you. Encouragement echoes in the air, bathed in a hopeful pink glow. Invoking the Empress's legendary might to banish fear, the woman stands up abruptly, her hesitation replaced by a steel-hard resolve. Meanwhile, in a leisurely courtyard, Xiao Tian shares drinks and banter. As his companion makes an excuse to leave, he flashes a playful smirk. His retort about flirting back adds a layer of ambiguous tension to the relaxed atmosphere. Night falls, casting a cold moonlight. As the trio walks the ancient street, Xiao Tian's senses sharpen instantly. He sneers internally at the clumsy gaze from the darkness, deciding to stay passive and wait for the foolish spy to make a move. Suddenly, Xiao Tian casually pulls out the contract ring, a symbol of absolute binding, from his chest. The women beside him stare in horror. The seal that requires peak saint power to break is being fiddled with like a loose toy in his hands. Look, it's simple. Just tear it off and stick it back. Facing Zhongling's breakdown, Xiao Tian innocently demonstrates the impossible. Purple light dances at his fingertips as common sense crumbles before his overwhelming power. Amidst their helpless banter, danger creeps closer. A dark silhouette glides like a ghost across the rooftops, shadowing them into the brightly lit courtyard. Under the silent night, a secret battle is about to unfold. Zhongling frantically suggests a night raid on the Prime Minister. Uninterested in bloodshed, Xiao Tian suppresses her with a wave of purple energy. Amidst the slapstick comedy of her screaming, Xiao Tian's absolute control over the situation is undeniable. To silence this water-brained wildcat, Xiao Tian stops talking. He raises his hands, purple lightning exploding from his palms as he summons his system AI, Wonkai. Put on a blockbuster with good special effects. It's time for a lesson. Terrifying pressure instantly descends, transforming the space into a cultivation ground. Under the lash of purple lightning, even the arrogant general trembles and begins to train. This is Xiao Tian's unique kindness, a gift of strength wrapped in tyranny. Finally alone, Xiao Tian stands amidst wildly raging golden lightning. He drops his disguise, savoring this rare hour of freedom. The loneliness and thrill of being invincible are unleashed within the crackling thunder. Suddenly, lanterns flicker as Empress Ruoyan arrives in grand style. Adorned in regal finery, she exudes authority, yet gazes at the sweating Xiao Tian with utmost tenderness. The contrast between her majestic arrival and soft gaze leaves Xiao Tian momentarily dazed. Once alone, the atmosphere turns intimate. Ruoyan notices the sweat on the floor, mistaking it for the struggle of a mortal trying to cultivate. Instead of mockery, she offers comfort. This unexpected understanding gently tugs at Xiao Tian's heartstrings. Xiao Tian awkwardly removes his robe to cover up, but Zivan, blushing, softly whispers, "I am here." Her watery tenderness instantly breaches his defenses, leaving him screaming internally. When did his wife max out her seduction skills? Night deepens under the candle's glow. Xiao Tian scrambles clumsily into the curtains. Ruoyan puts down her book, watching him with a doting smile. His clumsy eagerness appears uniquely cute and genuine in her eyes. During pillow talk, they discuss the innocence of their first times. Xiao Tian admits he was taught women were distractions, while Ruoyan shyly confesses that every flutter of her heart has been for him. Misunderstandings melt away. Love heats up in their gaze. Asked why he risks entering the court, Xiao Tian falls silent before whispering, "Loneliness." As a visitor from another world, an unspoken alienation follows him. He holds her tight, as if she is his only anchor in this vast, strange world. "Me too," Ruoyan responds softly, two lonely souls resonating in this moment. She smiles and reintroduces herself. "Hello, I am Ruoyan." Stripped of titles, they are simply each other's refuge, a silent vow passing between them in the glowing light. The next morning, the court is thick with murderous tension. Officials whisper, fixing their gaze on the prince about to meet the ministers. Amidst the gossip, how will Xiao Tian face the prime minister's faction? The fangs hidden beneath his soft facade are about to be bared. Rage burns in the eyes of the prime minister's faction as they watch their coveted power slip away. While Ruoyan sits regally, Xiao Tian stands beside the phoenix throne, a flicker of hesitation crossing his face. Frowning at the impropriety, Ruoyan realizes the phoenix throne does not suit her husband. She commands it be replaced with a wooden chair, her imperial authority silencing the whispers in the hall. Catching the subtle affection in the Empress's eyes, Xiao Tian understands her intent. He sprawls onto the chair with deliberate casualness, a cocky smirk playing on his lips, a silent provocation to the court. Tension hangs heavy in the court as Ruoyan prepares to dismiss the assembly. Suddenly, a calculated voice breaks the silence as a minister steps forward, clearly prepared for a confrontation. Ruoyan remains wary. Prime Minister Lu's ambition is a dangerous threat. True to form, his minions strike, launching a scathing accusation against Xiao Tian, declaring the prince unworthy of his title. The political conflict escalates instantly, invisible smoke filling the air. From the shadows, a pair of eyes watches with amusement, eagerly anticipating the coming storm. While the Lu family blindly mocks Xiao Tian's freeloading, only the guard who knows the truth trembles in fear. Unable to bear it, Ruoyan snaps, her imperial gaze sharp as she defends her husband against the baseless accusations. Holy light radiates from Ruoyan, awing the court. Yet amidst the praise, the prime minister's faction sneers, hiding their disdain behind honeyed words as they mock the empress's cultivation level. Despite revealing her saintly power, Ruoyan hesitates, wary of the mysterious expert hiding in the palace. Seizing this moment, the ministers pivot, attacking Xiao Tian again for degrading the royal dignity by engaging in commerce. Arguments pile upon accusations. From brewing alcohol to improper relationships, even the Minister of Revenue is dragged into the mire. The court erupts in a frenzy, culminating in a single, deadly demand. Execute Xiao Tian. General Zhong explodes with rage at the slander against his daughter. Simultaneously, a loyal minister steps forward, listing Xiao Tian's contributions to infrastructure and border defense, dismantling the prime minister's lies one by one. Ziruoyan smiles subtly as the tide turns. Flustered, Liu Aoyan demands evidence, desperately trying to erase Xiao Tian's achievements and accusing the ministers of claiming credit for themselves. Words clash like swords in a heated debate. Facing the prime minister's aggressive pressure, the loyalist minister retaliates with the same logic, trapping Liu Aoyan in a corner where he cannot prove his own innocence. Finally, Xiao Tian steps forward. Adjusting his sleeves with practiced ease, he wears his signature confident smile. His aura radiates authority, signaling that the real show is just beginning. Failing to win with words, Liu Aoyan reveals his trap, an ancient, mysterious book. Ziruoyan's face pales with instinctual dread, while Xiao Tian remains seated, his expression unreadably calm. Ziruoyan screams in panic, terrified for her husband. But Xiao Tian simply waves a hand, a glint in his eye. Instead of obeying, he turns the tables, coldly questioning the prime minister's authority to command a prince. Liu Aoyan plays the imperial teacher card, dripping with condescension. Only then does an official reveal the trembling truth. It is a cursed tome soaked in blood. All 17 who tried to decipher have died. Facing this deadly trap, Xiao Tian scoffs and rises abruptly. Looking down at the prime minister, he mercilessly exposes the absurdity of the gamble. His life against nothing? The calculation is laughably unfair. Exposed and furious, Liu Aoyan is about to lash out when Xiao Tian cuts him off coldly. Shifting targets, Xiao Tian attacks the prime minister's parenting, scolding his son as if disciplining an unruly child. The tactic works. Liu Aoyan is forced to kneel and apologize, retracting his clause for now. Yet Xiao Tian remains vigilant. The old fox is adaptable, instantly playing a new card, the keys to the imperial secret treasury. Liu Aoyan dangles the jade key and 3 million stones as bait, yet Xiao Tian brazenly demands 5. Amused by such greed, the minister raises it to 6 million with a sinister sneer. Take the money, and you've just signed your own death warrant.